Welcome to video 6 in the How to Monetize Your Podcast video series. This is a final video in this series. So hopefully you watched all the previous videos and you got to this point. Or if you're just watching this video for the first time, you can go down a rabbit hole and watch all of them. These videos are designed to help you be able to monetize your podcast immediately. And I'm giving you information, ideas, and strategies to get you started and get you rolling and get you going. My name is Brendan Boyd. I got 3 podcasts. I monetize over $20,000 to $30,000 a month with my podcast, and I just want to share some strategies with you guys. All right, so let's get into it. So number 1 in this video is going to be Amazon Storefront. So Amazon Storefront is a great way for you to monetize your show because everyone shops on Amazon. So if you go on Amazon and you submit to become an Amazon associate, once you're an Amazon associate, you can submit to be an Amazon influencer. And once you're an Amazon influencer, you can open up your own storefront. And how a storefront works is literally just like a social media page. I'm going to put mine up right there, and it's branded. You can put your banner on it, and you want to create different lists, which are basically different groups. And in these groups, you can put different categories: electronics, books, clothing, household, houseware, things like that. And in these different lists or groups, you can basically suggest that people buy the items that you basically curated in this list. And whether they buy that product or not, but they entered Amazon through your storefront, Amazon will give you a percentage of every sale. So if you're a podcaster right now and you don't have any products, but you're heavy on Amazon, you can always send people to your Amazon store with a call to action. And whatever they buy in that Amazon store, you're going to get some money from Amazon. So Amazon Storefront is perfect, and you can brand it so it looks just like your own virtual store, right? So Amazon Storefront is a great way for you to monetize your show. Number 2, live podcast. So if you're podcasting, you have some traction, or if you have a community, or if you have a group, a following, whatever the case may be, consider hosting a live in-person podcast and charging people to watch you hold the podcast live. This is a great way for you to monetize. So find a space and get some seating, 10 seats, 20 seats, 30 seats, 40 seats, 100 seats, whatever it is. Make sure you have a great guest that they're going to want to see. Put a ticket on it, select a date, get your Eventbrite or your own page popping off, send people to your page to buy tickets, and then start rolling, get into the bag. Live podcasts are popping, and if your show actually has a following, you can make a live podcast tour and take your show on the road, just like you're an artist, and start monetizing your podcast and building your audience even more and building your fan base because they're going to be touching you in person. So having a live in-person podcast and getting some money is a great way for you guys to monetize. So that would be number 2. Number 3. Wow. Number 3. This one's fire. Podcast retreats. And I have to give a big shout out to Luxotics Retreats. There's a link below for more information and to tap in. They got a couple of amazing opportunities. But if you put together a podcast retreat or a podcast giveaway or a podcast meetup, whatever the case may be, that's a great way to monetize. Podcasts, even mastermind, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. For retreats, people will pay a premium. So if you curate an amazing experience and you host it, you do live podcasts, you can host other podcasts to do their thing, content days and all of that. But having a podcast retreat is a great way for you to monetize your show. Remember where you heard it first, podcast retreats. Let's go. Number 4 on this one, I think I might have mentioned it in a previous video, but live workshops, right? Live workshops is a great way for you to monetize. And it's also a great way for you to plant a seed if you have other products or services that may be ascending after the live workshop. But if you don't, live workshops, live masterminds, live webinars, like an in-person webinar, just anything live where you're going to be teaching, sharing, educating, doing a presentation. That's a great way for you to monetize, cultivate, and bring some money in for your show. So live workshops, master classes, that's a great way for you to monetize your podcast. Let's go. This one is definitely one of the most important ones. It's a media business. So if you didn't know, your podcast is not a side hustle. It's not something that you do sometimes. It's not something that, you've been thinking about doing. It's an actual media business. And as soon as you make it, and as soon as you take it more seriously and you recognize that, you can start to get to the bag. Now, as a media business, your podcast can be structured and positioned in a way that you're going to get access to capital, business credit, business funding, and position yourself for loans in the future, but at least give your podcast business access to capital and access to leverage opportunities So now your podcast can start funding itself, right? So maybe you want to get guests, write off all your expenses, your software, your hardware, your trips, your food, anything. Maybe even your merch. If you're wearing merch on your show, like I'm wearing merch, grab the Millionaire Mindset shirt below, grab the Black Podcaster Tour hat below. But yes, all this stuff can be written off, and there's just so many more things that you can do once you actually realize that your podcast is a media business and you position your podcast as such. Man, so much fire on this episode. So remember, your podcast is not a podcast. It's a media business. All right, this is video 6. This is the last video in this series of how to monetize your podcast. Let's do a quick little recap. So Amazon storefront, live podcast, podcast workshops, podcast retreats, and position your podcast as a media business. These are all ways that you can monetize your podcast and things that you should be doing right now, or at least having on your podcast dream board of things that you're going to be doing in a relatively soon future. So listen, if you want some merch, there's a link below. If you want to secure your free spot in the Podcast to Profits workshop, head over to podcasttoprofits.live. There's a link below. And again, man, this has been such a fire and amazing series. I hope you guys got a lot from this series and that you utilize any of these strategies from video 1 down to video 6. There's been so many gems that I'm giving you, and I just want you guys to monetize, grow your show, be able to make money, get more reach, scale your business, and just continue to have fun and stay out of podcast purgatory, where most podcasters go to die between episode 7 and episode 15. Do me a favor. Share this video with 3 people. That's how you can repay me for all this game. Comment and subscribe. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Let's go. And podcasters, how would you like to make 5 or 6 figures with your podcast? Did you know that most podcasters do not make any revenue? It's because they think they need brand deals, sponsorships, and a large audience to monetize your show. But what if I told you you don't need none of that? Just a simple 4-step framework to position your show to be monetized. And I can give you the game completely for free. All you need to do is head over to podcasttoprofits.live, and I'll see you in this exclusive training. I'm going to give you all the game. What are you waiting for? Head over to the training. Let's go.